We're talking it. Welcome to Derry, episode 4, the great swirling apparatus of our planet's function. A lot going on in this episode. Probably the best episode of the series, in my opinion. We'll have Scotty weigh in on that. He's here with me. This is Minor League Films. Your boy Flyknit J. Go ahead and hit that like button, sub button. Of course, a lot in this episode. So we got Charlotte getting active with her civil rights campaign. We got the kids still trying to prove Pennywise exists, and also a way to divert him from attacking them. We have Hanlon, who is able to see Will get attacked and able to see Pennywise's balloon, which is one of the first that we've seen of that from the adults. And then we also see Hollerin show off his powers in a really cool way. And obviously him and Hanlon teaming up to realize they're going against something that is more danger than it's worth. So, Scotty, having an episode 4. A lot start with obviously start with the kids. They took the pictures last episode, risked their lives. Will, who obviously had the amount of bravery that no one should have going into a serial killer and say, "Yep, this picture's more important." But yeah, he goes in, he gets a picture of Pennywise. Obviously, show up to the chief, hands the chief the pictures, and he says, "Is that bird shit?" Like they don't see anything on there. Obviously starts with that. It's kind of crazy that Pennywise can actually tamper with evidence.
Oh man, yeah, he didn't see anything at all on those photos. Even the photo, I know that evidence was tampered, but the one photo of him he left there, and the sheriff was still like, "Oh, that's a fucking statue. Don't waste my damn time. This is 11 minutes. I'll never get back." So I figured that would happen. I mean, because where would the story lead without that? So, and that added to the kids' terror and like isolation. Like, okay, so all we have is just 4 raggedy ass kids that can't do anything. Like we're all 85 pounds. So now they have to figure out a different way and how to stop it. And it leads into the next couple scenes where they're trying to figure out how to stop Pennywise's momentum.
Yeah, basically, it kind of leaves them to the point. I think if they felt like they were able to prove Pennywise exists, they could probably get some help from some adults that they don't, because they don't know what's going on with the military stuff, obviously.
Mhm.
But I feel like they can get some help without being able to really prove Pennywise exists or any of their stories are true. They're kind of only left with the device of we just got to find a way to protect ourselves or keep him away from us. And obviously, they figure that out later in the episode. So, yeah, it's an interesting point. I want to see where they go from here because I feel like they feel like at this point there is no defense, and we know they go down into the sewers eventually to investigate. So it feels like maybe they just brave enough to go on the attack. We'll see what they're able to do later in this series. Also, too, next up, Lily goes to get some advice, and she wants definitely some input from Ingrid of like what has happened recently. So they obviously have the dinner scene, and Ingrid lets her know like, hey, like I've noticed when I was growing up, like children went missing, but it's really nothing strange in Derry.
That ain't what she says, sir. Let me paint the full picture for you. What she says is to this what's literally like what 10, 9, 10, something like that.
They point to the school. They look like a high school, but they seem like middle school
Yeah,
kids.
they
So I
look
would
like
guess
they're young.
high
I would give
school
it
is
like 10 or 11.
yeah. It seems like one of those high schools that may go to
So
like 6th grade or 7th grade, something like that.
yeah, so she's sitting there asking Ingrid like if there's anything about the history of the town, and Ingrid's like, "Yeah, we had a couple massacres, about 88 people dead, a couple explosions, about 57 kids missing, but that's life. How's your Sunday?" And I was dying laughing. I said, "This is a child." That's how she said it. You gotta watch it again.
I did. She said there was a few kids went missing, and obviously we know we've talked about surrounding like they're gonna do three seasons of this. One definitely has a gang violence in there, which they found the car in the in I think episode 3 or 2, one of those. So we obviously know that part's coming in. And obviously the explosion they show that in the trailer all the time or in the intro to the show all the time. So we know that stuff's coming, but obviously for her. Nothing weird or crazy because again I get desensitized to it. It's weird because I feel like Ingrid is a little like less desensitized than the others, I would say. So I don't know if
Mhm.
there's something up with that or we're gonna dive because that's definitely a character that we haven't seen a lot of, but it feels like she's gonna play a big role at some point. She's the only one like, hey, like, nothing really weird happens that I know, but poke the bear. Like, hey, go for this, like look for that. So I
You
really want to see
know,
what the backstory is.
you know what my theory was last episode because no, she never seems to care about Lily's safety. She seems to care about Lily as a person, but
Yeah.
doesn't seem to care about her safety. For some reason, I have a theory that remember what Pennywise did to Bowers' kid in the It 1 and 2 movie?
Yeah.
I feel like he did the same thing to Ingrid. And that's why every time Lily comes in there, it's like, hey, I'm 10, but I'm gonna go whoop this supernatural entity's ass. And Ingrid's like, you know what? go for it. If it's in your heart, go ahead. So I think my theory is maybe she has a little touch of that what Chief Bauer's kid has, because I'm like, this it's not sensible for her to sit there and listen to all these conversations, and her own reaction is, yeah, I'm with you. That's kind of strange.
I feel like the first part was kind of like, oh, like be a good friend or be accountable if you like care about Ronnie like that much. The second part is like, if you feel something weird is going on, it'd be like, yeah, but also too, the people we see Pennywise have influence on, they've all been pretty like batshit crazy. Like they're crazy. Chief Bowers, I think it's his grandson actually, maybe not his kid.
Yeah, maybe his son was also a chief, right?
Yeah, or something like that. But I think he's down the line. But he was like a serial killer. Like it was Stephen King Bully 101, where it's like, you know, instead of just picking on somebody and throwing them to a locker, I'm trying to cut them every chance I get. So we seem to go a little bit crazier. We'll see, because I'm sure there's going to be some more parts to her as we go longer in the series. So moving on, that we touched with Rose last episode. We obviously got the backstory between her and I forgot what's the general's name, man. I always forget the dude's name.
General, his name is Francis Shaw. I think.
Yeah, Shaw. There you go. You got it for me. General Shaw, got a little backstory of her. And then Rose obviously goes to meet Charlotte. Charlotte is somebody who I have big interest in this series. I think I think she's gonna veer more, because Hanlon this episode is obviously seeing the supernatural stuff. I'm really interested to see if Charlotte is able to see it, because I'm one thinking if like, if she can see it, it just kind of confirms like you just get desensitized and you're not able to see it, or is Hanlon more special than they've given on, just beside the fear thing. So we'll see that, but we'll talk about that a little more later. But Rose obviously goes to meet Charlotte and talks about her, says, hey, you have, you know, if you need a friend, and obviously you need to watch your kid, because obviously Rose, they know what's going on, which I feel like this should be a bigger warning than just to Charlotte of like, hey, everybody, watch your kid. But obviously I think she feels like Charlotte doesn't quite yet have the influence of Pennywise to her to where she can still be aware of, because remember, she's the only one that was aware of the kid getting beat down in the town, like what's going on. So I feel like Rose is catching her early and saying like, hey, these are the warning signs. And obviously that leads to Charlotte being able to find the pictures and talking to Will, which I thought was like a really good emotional scene. We really haven't had, man, if I think back, we haven't had many scenes like that in the It franchise.
Yeah, not as far as dialogue between two adult characters go. I think we've never had that, except for maybe.
I mean that, but also too, like her in her moment with Will, and obviously him breaking down because he's afraid. He didn't show it, and obviously these kids really have not shown it until like, you know, they're dying or they're coming up missing, and it's like too late. So that was the first time we see the kid be like, "Bro, we dealing with some shit."
Yeah, these all these kids are pretty good actors. They're gonna be great when they get older. Like this, Will really, like when his tears came out, I said, "Ooh, I feel that. I felt it." And the mother, I'm glad they didn't have the mother written in to just kind of brush off most of what he says. I'm glad that she doesn't believe everything, but she's like, okay, something's wrong here. Something's going on, and that's what she tells his father, just like, hey, you need to take your son and go do something and talk to your son. I didn't expect the father also. I didn't expect Hanlon to really get to know his son. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was putting myself in the kid's shoes. Like, I don't think my father been like, yeah, we can go to the arcade and do something. He actually took his son out fly fishing and really was trying to discover what was going on with his son. So I enjoyed that scene. This episode has some killer scenes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that scene in a minute, but it was good to see Charlotte be able to do that, and her awareness is obviously there. So between that, Hollerin gets his bar, which was famous in the book. Obviously he has the bar in Derry, so we know about that. They were able to open up and start to peel back the layers of that. And obviously it's cool to see something coming from the book. So we'll see how the bar goes, because obviously they needed a hangout spot, and Hollerin's been putting his life on the line. So go ahead, yes, sir.
And then remember Hollerin, just to add a little bit to that. Yeah. When Hollerin gets the bar and has that vision.
Yeah, it was grandmother.
I enjoyed that. I had to rewind it back a couple times to see there's a vision of a door shutting really hard. There's a vision of the door opening really fast. And I think you see Charlotte in the corner. At first I thought it was his grandmother in the corner of the room. I think that's Charlotte in the room. So I guess that's what's happening. Something's going to happen in their house.
Okay, yeah, I have to rewatch that and see that, but that's good.
I rewatched it like 3 times. It's Charlotte in the corner, It's a door closing real fast. It's door opening real fast. It's one big eye that's turning red, and it's flames. So I think the flames represent his bar burning down or the house burning down. And obviously Charlotte's in the room curled up because she's seeing something going on, or she finally finds out what's happening. And then it's just two doors opening and closing. So the opening and closing has some kind of significance, like something like a journey closing, a journey opening, something like that. I was really into it. I was getting there.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good scene. And obviously the scene we just referred to is next. Will, obviously Hanlon and Will go fishing. Hanlon goes, you already knew what was coming. Hanlon's like, oh, I gotta get this fishing bait. Let me go back to the car and figure it out. He's got Will out there. You just knew it was coming. The fish swims up to him, which that's already a red flag. I'm like, fish swims up to me like that, I'm running, because that should not happen. And obviously he gets pulled under. Obviously sees the burning image of his father. I guess crawling up the crash with no eyes, and then Hanlon comes down because he senses it, and which is pretty cool. And he catches him and he pulls him out. And yeah, it's a great scene. But even before that scene, just that father-son moment of them kind of tell, like, Hanlon's more probably like, if they have a flashback, he's probably more like the sports guy, or he's probably more the active guy. You know, obviously he's in the Air Force, fighter pilot. Probably more of that. And Will is a little bit more like geeky, he's more nerdy, he's more into science and like more into himself. So there are differences. But I thought when they were talking about Ronnie, and like, oh, you got a new girlfriend. He was like, oh, no, it's not my girlfriend. He's like, oh, not yet. Like, I thought that was like a great father and son moment. I got to look at the actor for him. That dude is awesome in this series. I'm really starting to like him as it goes on. I just thought that was a great scene even before the Pennywise attack. And then Pennywise attacks, obviously pulls him under. Hanlon comes up, is able to pull him up. It's like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. And he actually has the burns on his arms, and he can see the balloon. And I was like, whoa, okay. We have never seen anything like that in the It franchise on live action.
Yeah, the fact that that whole 25 minutes of those parents halfway believing their son, and then not even having to just believe him. You can see the marks, and you can see the balloon. And you see that balloon throughout the episode. I'm like, oh, that was cool. So the series is progressing, and not in the super slow pace that we're used to with these horror shows. Like, it's progressing fast, and the characters are aware. I love a horror thing where characters are aware, or at least most of the characters are aware of what's going on and actively trying to find out what's happening. I enjoy that shit. Like him, is he a major? He's a major, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, him being a major, I'm like, all that stuff comes into play. That's probably why he's so respected by Shaw and everybody else, because Shaw respects him and holds him in high regard. And you can see that throughout all these episodes. Like, Shaw is ready to bring him in. In this episode, it seems like he's ready to bring him in almost fully. I'm enjoying the series.
It's good. And obviously like that, because we've had so long of like, we've just been rocking with the loser group. We've been rocking with the kids and seeing how that goes. And it's felt like this entire time, like their family was tone deaf. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like in the first when Georgie gets massacred and they're letting their other kids just go out there and just be out. It's like, bro, no parents would really have that reaction. Like, you lost one kid. I don't care how much you feel secure with the other one, you're gonna keep eyes on him 24/7. If you feel like this kid just came out missing or got massacres out in this town, like that's just a natural reaction. Obviously, with them, this is the first time we're getting sort of a natural reaction, and they explain it. Obviously, they're desensitized to it, but we're finally getting that natural reaction and seeing how would parents actually react if something like this was happening. And you put any parents in a situation like in real life, you feel like they're going to be pretty much kind of doing the same thing. Like, even if they don't know what's going on, the fact that they know something is going on has a reaction to it. And then obviously him seeing the balloon is kind of the cherry on top of like, oh, like he can see the spiritual forces and something like really strange is going on here, especially when he sees it a second time. So got that going on. And then that leads us into one of my other favorite scenes of this episode, where Hanlon goes and finds Hollerin, and they have a really, really good scene where he's like, hey, what is going on here?
Yeah. And then Hanlon's like, not sure what the army's looking for. I'm just doing what I'm told. You know, that's why I'm like, it's kind of like they are together on the same playing field, kind of like they want to solve what's going on. But there's other times where I see Hollerin just kind of like doing whatever the army's telling him to do. Yeah. So we get those scenes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So the dynamic between them is always interesting. They're never exactly on the same page. So I really enjoy their dynamic. And Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'd say I think it's because Hollerin, we know he can see more because of his power, but he also has fear. Like
Yeah.
he ain't got no I don't have fear of anything and I'm gonna figure it out. He like whatever the fuck I just saw, I don't want no part of. You ain't afraid of nothing, and we know that. Me, I'm like, I don't really know if you're doing this. I only really do it because I have to do it. And that scene where he snaps on him, where he was like, Holler, what's going on here? The other like Holler, he's like, I don't know. Like that was such a great, like he snapped on him. That was such a great reaction. And I'm like, man, like that, this is just a great scene. But yeah, you can kind of see the differences of them of like one is like, yeah, I am very aware and I want to be less aware of what's going on here because the longer I'm here, the more I'm starting to get frightened. And then Hanlon, which is like my special ability is I don't have fear. Like if something's attacking my son, I'm going after it. I don't care what it is, where it is, I'll figure it out. But he has no fear of, self-preservation. So you can kind of see the differences. And I think that's why they're on the same page, but also not while they're not on the same page.
Yeah. That could be one of the reasons. Like, but you know what? We haven't got to this scene yet. There's another scene where I feel like the whole Hollerin thing, like just doing what he's told thing, which is the opposite of what Hanlon is doing. Hanlon will do, sure, he'll follow orders, but he's still going to question them. Yeah. I feel like throughout this episode, I got a vibe, and that would just be me. I got a vibe of Hollerin not really being on the same page. Like, I don't know what his motivations are. I don't know whether he wants to destroy it when he finds out what it is, or whether he's actually going to follow the military orders and just find it for the military. I don't know. That's me. I don't know. It could just be me. What's the vibe you're getting from Hollerin? That's the vibe I got. Is I really don't know which way he's going.
I mean, I think Hollerin, for the most part, he is there to follow orders. He's more in line with the military is trying to do. Obviously, he's getting preferential treatment because of his special abilities. I think he's still under the verge of like, he's warning them like, hey, like, I'm just giving you my experience. What's going on is not normal, and we are touching into something more dangerous than I've really, dealt with. But also, too, I don't think it's hit to that breaking point where he's like, okay, like I can't follow these orders anymore. I got to break out because it's going to cause bigger problems than the reward. Like basically, like I think he's like, I'm in line until things really go haywire, and then we will see like what happens later. But I think he's going to break off that and be like, no, like we got to destroy this, or I got to get with Hanlon. Like you felt like in the last episode, I believe it was last episode when they went to dinner, he kind of wanted to feel Hollerin out and be like, okay, like if something goes wrong, like I want this dude on my side because I feel like something could go wrong. But he's like not there yet. But I know if it does, I have him to rely on.
Yeah, I think we're both on the same page. Because when the shit hits the fan, I think he says, okay, cool, this thing is too dangerous to give to the army. We can both work together and get this thing out of here. So yeah, you know what? The vibes I'm getting right now is he's following orders, but I think if shit does hit the fan, him knowing that Hanlon has his back and it's someone without fear, I think maybe they can hit him together, like hit it together and get rid of it, or try to get rid of it. Obviously, don't get rid of it.
It feels really like a hope for the best plan for him because he does have the military as a backing. So you think like how many things you hear about crazy stuff out there? You're like, I got the SWAT team with me. I'll be all right. They just don't know what they're dealing with. And even Hollerin, he can see things, but he really does not know what they're dealing with. That's why he's like, I don't know, man. Like we'll see when we get there, but I really don't know. So it's gonna be interesting to see that. Like usually, and I'll say this. We've seen so many movies with, supernatural or like powerful beings or like Godzilla, even that where like the military subplots are terrible. Like I think they have done, and maybe not to the full because they're really not giving Shaw and the military a lot to do besides just be the military. But I think with the addition of Hanlon and Hollerin and the way they're kind of playing in with Shaw and then what's going on with Native Americans, they're actually making a good military subplot for one of the first times I've really seen in a series.
Yeah, and not only that, this series is making me be mad that I'm probably going to lose some of these characters in here because I like all the characters in this show. Yeah. Every single character, even Chief Bauer. I thought Chief Bauer was going to be like, an asshole like his son and grandson. Yeah. But even when he arrested the dude, it wasn't on some I'm racist kind of stuff. It was kind of like, hey, your testimony didn't really gel with everybody else's and you weren't home. I verified that while I was talking to you. So I even like Chief Bowers.
Yeah,
Crazy as hell.
Say that too. I don't mind him either. I felt
I'm
like
not supposed
if
to
he
like
didn't,
him.
yeah, if he didn't get the political pressure from the other guys at the bar, he wouldn't even have arrested Hank. So I felt like,
Exactly.
yeah, so I feel like most definitely like he's like more of a straight shooter than you would normally get in that character where I'm just an asshole. He's like, well, I got to do my job. I can't just sit here and do nothing or I'm not going to have a job. But like, I'm not just out here just doing things because I'm racist or just because I'm an asshole. Like, I got to do what I have to do. And unfortunately, these are just the cards I'm dealt. So,
Yeah.
that's actually a good point. I do actually like that character, which is
like
we really like it any other show.
Like all the characters. All the characters have something likable about them. Like, damn, I'm gonna be mad when everybody dies. It's like every character is likable in some kind of way. Like, that's crazy. They did a good job with these characters.
The biggest villains are the patty cakes. Like really, they're the only ones of like you got a cop, you got town members, you got these desensitized adults. Like the biggest villains here are the patty cakes. Are like,
you know what?
Somebody get rid of these three. They're villains.
Yo, that brings us to the next scene. I was so mad when I saw Marge sit down at that table. I said, "Yo, whoop her ass right now! Pick up that tray and whoop her ass now."
This is one of those. They're so evil. Pennywise is like, nah, y'all good. I don't want no parts of them. Mess with these kids over here. They look helpless. These patty cakes, nah, y'all fine. Marge is different, but the rest of you other three, nah, you ain't gonna get me.
Jesus Christ.
So moving on before we get to Marge, obviously Will, who's a smart one of the group, like really smart guy, he figures out like, hey, like with no more predators, a lot of them, and why they, because he asked the question we asked, how did Will walk out of that like cemetery when Pennywise could have easily killed him? Well, they answered that right back. They're like, we know you were asking that. So we tell you, like, Pennywise, obviously, we know this feeds off fear. Will figures that out, and he's like, I think we're just like not scared enough yet. We're clearly Will wasn't scared when he walked in there, and that's why he did it to take the picture. So he was like, hey, he's messing with you. We're not scared enough yet, but once we are, which fear is something we're gonna have naturally, then we're cooked. So that leads to I thought that was a good scene explaining that, and then leads to Lily finding her mom's drugs and say, hey, like these drugs desensitize my mom from when she's stressed out, she's having anxiety. In a worst case scenario, we could take these and we might be okay.
Yeah. And they don't give you the drug, which like I say, like this show, I can talk about the show forever. I'm trying not to. I'm really trying not to, but this is one of the few shows that has been rewinding parts while I'm watching. So I kept rewinding. I said, did they tell us what the drug was? And I said, oh, wait a minute. This is a child. So they have it like a child wouldn't know what the drug is called. Yeah. And she's just like, okay, this is just the drug that I know my mom takes when she's upset about something. Boom. I'm like, man, it's cool. Like all these kids are doing detective work, trying to find ways to actually solve the problem. And the acting of Lily being a helpless person that has nobody in her corner besides these newfound friends, out the park. Give her the Emmy. Where we at? Like, what's going on? Because every time I see her, I'm like, oh shit, she's by herself again. Nobody's there. I'm like, damn. Every scene I see her, how do you feel about that? I want to ask you how you feel when you see this character.
Yeah, I think Lily is probably the most. She probably deals with the most in this series, because I still think even after episode 4, she probably really doesn't have any allies. Like even the new loser group, they're just getting nowhere. Ronnie's already like, I was pissed at you because you got my dad like locked up and you're trying to make up for it. So we're sticking together because we got this fucking clown chasing us and we're dealing with that. But like, we'll see how that goes. And you feel like Will and Rich are only there because they're like, well, Rich is only there because Will's there, and Will's there because he's like, yeah, I want to help Ronnie out. So really, no one's there for Lily. And then Marge is like, we used to be friends. I'm kind of getting cool down, having guys look at me, and I got this evil, the Legion of Doom over here having me play tricks on you to do that. Yeah. So I feel like she has one, and that's Ingrid, who we feel like even her mom is the worst. The difference between Charlotte and Lily's mom is like they are on the other sides of playing. They're North Pole and South Pole. So obviously her mom is not on her side. The only one really is Ingrid. And that's probably the character we have the most questions about, of like, what is she up to? Like, who is this character?
I have a theory. I have another theory. It's a double-sided theory. Ingrid is either touched by Pennywise or she's touched by Madurin, the turtle. One of the two. We'll find out in episode 8. We'll find out. It's one of the two, because maybe she's touched by the turtle, and maybe that's why she's so calm and telling a child about all the death and murder and mayhem going on. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why she's gone. She's like the turtle going iron this out. The turtle going be here. You remember Gamma Ra?
Yeah,
He gonna spin around and fly with them rocket boots now. He gonna handle
doing gymnastics on the pole. Oh my god,
we gotta review that.
That's actually a good. Well, I would say I'm leaning more if that theory is true and is one or the other. She did hand her the turtle symbol and like, don't forget your bracelet, and wasn't able to put it on her. So I would say like that maybe leads to maybe she has the good spirit instead of the bad one. If she's able to touch, I don't know if like somebody like was it the bully would have been able to touch it. Like, like, it burns, it's too good. So I don't know, maybe that may be a little silly, but she was able to hand her the little turtle bracelet. So maybe that's a good sign there. But I mean, that's a good point. It could be one or the other. Obviously, too, a little bit of a break from the school. Obviously, we talked about Lily in the fears with that character. Charlotte goes to help Hank, a little bit of her civil rights acting, trying to help him out. And me and you have been guessing, like, what is going on with Hank? Like, I brought up the gay club that they have at the bar, and I was like, okay, like, maybe he's gay. And I thought he was going to say it. I was like, oh, that's the part. You see, I said this last episode, you'll talk about him being gay. And the one thing worse than being gay in 1960 is finding a white woman when you're not white. So he went a step above and said, that's not enough. I was with a white woman, so I'm cooked either way.
And you know what I think? Because they just said they said it's someone that's married.
Yeah.
I don't think Chief Bowers has a wife yet. They mentioned he has a wife.
My question with Chief Bowers is like, I don't know. Well, I mean, it's two paths for the show, but I didn't know if he was gay or not because he went to the bar. I was wondering why he went to that bar originally, if this is truly a gay bar or something like that. I don't know what was going on with him.
The Bowers family never has any women around, because remember, his wife isn't around, or his the mother of that child isn't around. His the father of the crazy kid in the It 2 movies wasn't around. I'm sorry, the mother wasn't around. So I'm like, okay, my thing is this: he's either messing around with the chief's woman that's still legally married to him, or it could be even worse. But they don't introduce a lot of other white men in this show that are in that town. In that town, as far as white men with names that we know, it's just Chief Bowers. So I think it has to be the woman that he had his son with, or, and this is a long shot, and I know this is a long shot, it could be the partner of the of Hanlon, which I don't see that happening either. So I think I'm leaning to Chief Bowers' girl. I'm leaning towards that.
I don't think it's part of Hanlon because he's Hispanic.
He is?
Yeah, he's Hispanic.
Okay, I remember his last name. Okay, so then I said that was a long shot. So there we go. Throw that out. I think it's Chief Bowers' girl, because that's the only white dude that we have a name of in this town that we've seen multiple times. We've seen assholes in the bar, and they've named one of the assholes that I think he was a member of a gang, or he's a roughneck dude. I don't think it's him, because we only see him one time. I think it was Chief Bowers' woman, and that's why he wouldn't tell Chief Bowers. Because if it was a gang member, Chief Bowers wasn't kind towards them either. He said, "Man, fuck them. We good on them. They're fine. I don't fuck with them either." He could have named them. He could have said, "Yeah, I'm messing with Tommy's girl," and Chief Bowers would be like, "Fuck, I just won't say anything." But it's his girl, Chief Bowers, in the 1930s. Oh, you out of here. 1962. Excuse me, 1962. 1960s. Oh, you got to get out of here. I may not be racist, but that's my girl. She may not be with me, but that's still my girl. Where the tree at? Give me a good tree.
I feel like regardless of who it is, and it may be somebody we know or somebody we find out about later, like it's still not going to go well in that town, because you feel like it's like, well, this isn't the South, but there's some South influences here. It's not as bad. We're not just running you out of town. We're not burning crosses in your yard, but it's like still, I'd be watching what you're doing. So definitely, we'll see how it plays that. But Charlotte's definitely trying to help him out and getting the civil rights on that. Moving forward, we have the Marge situation. So obviously, Lily Marge talks to Lily like, hey, when friends would have lunch, obviously it's the pancakes, being Pennywise's friends playing a trick on her, obviously set her up. And we have one of know if we've seen this before in the series. So we have, or in the franchise, we have one of the more gruesome, like self-harm scenes that I think we've seen. I really don't remember anybody self-harming themselves in this franchise. I think it might be the first time. Obviously, her eyes grow out because she's seen the snail and it freaked her out a little bit. So her eyes grow and she starts to freak out.
I think Chief Bauer's son and who's the guy in It Chapter 2 that killed himself? I can't remember who that was. Remember, he killed himself.
Oh, but he kills himself out of fear because he doesn't want to back.
I think Chief Bauer's son did that, but that's because he was going crazy. So you're right. You're right. That's the only person. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we've seen that. So comment below if we've never missed something or you've seen that before. But I think this might be the first time. So obviously, Lily, being clutch, drops the drug in the toilet because of course she does. She fumbles it, and unfortunately for her, Marge runs to the shop room, tries to call these long eyes, which I don't know why that was ever her plan, but okay. Anyway, does that, actually ends up damaging her eye, and then Lily goes to stop her. And of course, everybody walks in on the perfect time. My only beef with that was because I thought it was gruesome and I thought it was a great scene to add because we haven't really seen anything like that. My only beef with that scene is the other losers know what's going on. They know how Pennywise messes with people. We haven't seen Marge mess with yet, so I don't know if that was her first time things happened to her, or this is something that's been progressing behind the scenes that maybe she's trying to get back with Lydia because stuff is starting to happen to her. She just hasn't brought it up yet. So it could have been that, and now this is the trajectory of that. But Will and Ronnie, you look over there I'm like, bro, you see what Pennywise does to kids.
Darren, I ain't gonna lie. I thought this was cliche. That's the one issue I had. Like, if I was going to give this show a 10 out of 10, that's the reason I bring it down to a 9. Because that scene, I think, is cliche. I kind of gotten a little, I can't say sick of, but I got bored with scenes where I'm like, okay, the person is supposed to be crazy, but they find out something's going on, and all the crowd walks in when she's on top of a person trying to save him. Like, I saw that scene coming. I said, damn, I hope they don't do this. And they did that. I'm like, and as soon as it happened, and Will looked at it not in disbelief, because you might see and think it's disbelief. He looked at it like, this bitch going back to Arkham. She going right back to Arkham.
Back to Arkham.
We're never gonna see her. So, but this is good though. This is why I like this show, right? Because it is cliche. We can admit that it is cliche. We've seen tons of times before, but it's setting something up. It's setting our theory up to be proven. Because the next episode, when she goes back to Arkham, guess who's going to be right there?
Pennywise.
Doctor Strange. No, not Pennywise. Ingred, who is Doctor Strange. She's going to be right there and say, hey, listen, I got this turtle bracelet. They can't mess with me. They can't mess with me. Hey, as long as you got a turtle, you see how the whole town ain't got no turtles. There's a reason for that. I got the turtle. That's why I gave you the turtle. We're going to be good in here, and give it a fist bump. That's what's going to happen. We're going to get whatever theory we have today on this video. On Sunday, we're going to find out. So I'm excited for that. This is the first cliche in a long time I've been excited to see go to fruition and see what happens.
Yeah, I don't mind the result of it. We have seen that scene so many times where if just like one person walks in, the teacher walked in, I would have had it way better. If Ronnie walked in and was like, what's happening? Teacher walked in behind her, he's like, oh, this don't look good. I wouldn't have minded. The fact the whole school walks in,
you wouldn't. I was like all y'all heard that?
You think about like a lunchroom in high school. If you're in the next room over, you're not hearing what's going on in that room. How loud we are, kids yelling. You're not going to hear that. So I have a little beef with that cliche. But you're right. And we did say last time, I'm just going to call it Arkham from now on because it might as well be. Last time she was in the crazy facility, we thought she got out of that unscathed. It was like, that sure was easy. I feel like Pennywise was going to come in there and bring some heat. So you got to go back there because I got to see how he can mess with you in the nut house and see how that goes. So we thought Lily got off easy, but she is not. She's definitely about to go back.
I think this is a good play. And like I said, this show, they're doing good things. This is a good play because now we might get to see what's going on in there and find out why she wasn't messed with in there, because we saw that the Indian Bell grounds were protected.
Yeah.
This maybe she's protected in there. Maybe it's because of Ingrid that's always around her taking care of her. Maybe that's why he don't mess with Ingrid. Maybe Ingrid has no fear. Clearly, Ingrid has no fear when she sat down and said, "Yeah, it's been 8,500 massacres in here. I'm still standing. Ain't nothing. Click clap. We good over here." So clearly, Ingrid got something going on.
Yeah, and I think also too the good part about the series and the way they set it up is like, and I went over this when I did my first couple episode reviews. Is like I know Will, he's good. He'll be okay. Everyone else is kind of up for grabs of like, are they actually going to make it or not? Lily might be connected to somebody, but I don't remember right now. And I'm gonna go back and look because I love the danger of will she make it out or won't she? Rich have no clue. Ronnie have no clue. So they're definitely up to be like they could kill one of them off, and it'd be like, well, it makes sense. They had no connection to the future. They weren't going to make it that far. So we'll see how that plays out. I do like that part, but yeah, I'm interested to see what happens back in there. Maybe we'll get some more answers for Ingrid. Moving forward, obviously, Will. His fear is starting to come up here, so he obviously he does one of the dumber things I've seen, but obviously he's at home, he can't sleep at night. What does he do? Oh, my dad bought me this telescope. Well, let me look outside. You know, Scotty, at first I was like, oh, maybe they're not going to do what I think they're going to do. Maybe he's going to look up at the space and he's going to see a sign of like material or something. Like I thought, like he looked at the sky and I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe this will be something where he's like, oh, he sees a sign of hope. Maybe crossing my fingers. He pointed a telescope down. I'm like, come on, man, you set yourself up. Obviously, sees a dude, and what does he see behind the tree? The shadow of a clown in dark.
Even the guy that was walking his dog seemed fishy to me because he's walking his dog looking straight ahead. No looseness. He was stiff as a motherfucker. I said, oh, I thought the guy was it at first. And then he went down and saw it by the tree. I said, damn, that guy's just an asshole. He's walking his wolf dog like he has no care in the world at 3 a.m. Jesus Christ. It has that town. They did a good job of showing the residents in that town that are just under the nonchalant spell, like nothing's going on. Because that guy is 3 a.m. collar shirt. He had the buttons all the way buttoned up to here. I said, oh, he on a mission. He don't give a fuck about what's going on. Nobody can stop him from walking this dog. I was like, yo. And I was focused on him, and then he went down. I said, oh shit. Okay. I see where we at. I thought the dog was gonna be it.
Well, that dude clearly a serial killer because he's had no muscles in the world. I don't know
what he had a sky blue shirt on, white pants. I said, white pants at 3 a.m. Oh, you ain't scared of shit.
Something's up with him. But obviously, Will screams. Parents react to it. I know the first time a kid screamed, parents are actually like, "Oh shit, my kid's screaming." Other than the brother when he walked in the first episode. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they react to it. Obviously, Hanlon goes outside. Not able to see Pennywise or anyone out there, but he sees the balloon again bumping in there, and he sees it. Don't believe Charlotte see anything, or if she did, we didn't cover it. But it's again confirming that Hanlon can see really what's going on there. So I thought it was a good scene. And then ending on, we get back. Hanlon obviously says, "You know what? Enough of this. I'm going back to the military first team tomorrow. I'm going in Shaw's office, and I'm finding out what the hell's going on and what we are chasing." And obviously, we get one of the one of the scenes they probably spent the most money on. And we finally see another thing that Hollerin can do. They find Daniel, they let them in, and it was a little bit early in the episode where they knew the Native Americans.
Hold on now, player. Hold on, player. It ain't Daniel. It's Taniel with a T.
Is it Taniel? Important. Taniel. Sorry, I thought it was Daniel.
Taniel with a T, shorty.
Taniel with a T. I got that credit now. Taniel, obviously, they saw them sitting around the military dig sites, let them in, obviously just arrest him, I guess. Like, I don't know what kind of illegal shit they pulled, because if they let them in, open up the gate, they wouldn't be allowed to arrest them. But catch Daniel, Hollerin says, "Hey man, look, I don't want to do this to you, but just tell them what they want to know. We get out here scot-free." Daniel says, "Yeah, I'm good off that." Spits on him, which I was like, yeah, Hollerin should have slapped him for that one. But he says, "You know what? That's cool. I apologize in advance." Goes into his head in one of the cooler, most expensive scenes that they probably had in the show, and just a really cool effect that Hollerin can do going into his head.
Yeah, and him going into his head, you can see that Hollerin was like, "Damn, Now I gotta whoop your ass for that. Then goes in the head. You get to see. I was surprised about this. Actually, I think we're gonna get this little backstory when they give you the whole backstory of the clown, and not just the clown, the backstory of the entire like village and what they were going through when they were the first people to encounter this, and how they were able to like stop it. Then, because we had questions the last couple episodes, like that's weird that he's in this forest, but he's also able to come out and fuck people up in the town and shit. Yeah. I that backstory was good. I didn't think it was gonna be good. I thought it was gonna be something really simple, but when they explained the artifacts and the sharps and the meteor, makes sense to me.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought it was cool seeing the Native American and how they've been fighting. They call it the Galoon, I believe it's the Galoon.
Galoop.
Galoop. Okay, they fought the Galoop. They're fighting it through time, and obviously they knew about it, and obviously they obviously had these shards, and one of them got brave and was like, you know what? I'm afraid of this thing. I'm gonna go find it, kill it, take some more shards out, which backfires a little bit, but eventually leads to them getting more of the crystal and bearing it around. I think it explains a couple of things. One, I think it's cool that they explain that backstory and the Native Americans who we had no info on. Well, I didn't read the book, so I had no info on going into the series. But also to the fact that this is probably why Pennywise is able to travel through sewers, because he can't go out, so he has to go under. And now this is why he's going into the town by that way, because he can't just walk out of the forest. So I think that's what I thought. I was like, oh, well, that's why he's always in the sewers or in the pipes or underground, and that's how he travels into the town. So I like that. But I thought it was a cool backstory, and obviously you get something we really haven't gotten. And then obviously the bad part about it is now Hollerin knows where the crystals are. He knows how to find them, and like we talked about before, if they're able to go and dig up those crystals, that's probably bodes hell for the Native American group.
Yeah. Well, those pillars are supposed to keep it confined to the woods. I assume if you get one pillar out of there, the whole thing is broken. It's gone, because that was supposed to be like a perimeter around the woods. That's gone, and obviously that does happen. So I'm interested to see who dies first. I'm sure Shaw is going to be dead, but I wonder if Shaw comes around and him and Rose have some kind of reconciliation and try to stop it, even though he's going to be the one that causes it to happen. Like, this little backstory guy was cool. I'm also interested to see if Rose, because that's from Taniel's mind. Remember, Taniel was told that story. He didn't experience it. So I wonder, since Rose actually experienced it and her ancestors experienced it, I wonder if Rose comes in a couple episodes and gives you a deeper backstory of other things they have done. Or maybe, like, I don't think Maturin has anything to do with this season other than him like having some kind of protection stuff going on. Because clearly that's probably who put it in the meteor in the first place, sending him there. So I wonder if Rose has some kind of knowledge on that. Or I wonder if Maturin kind of makes himself, reveals himself, and this is the first time everybody has some kind of knowledge of him. I'm wondering. Seriously, got me thinking and wondering what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, even I think at some point they've done too much pump faking for them not to at least reveal something. They don't got to go, but even not in this season, maybe in one of the second season or third season they're going to have. But even they buried one of the crystals in a turtle shell. So it's like even then they pulled another turtle shell out just to show you another turtle. So I think it'll definitely come into fruition at some point. I'm very interested to see what happens to them, because obviously there was no Native American group or even Native American people. We didn't even get the cliche, like the old person that knows some shit in it. Like we feel like it would have been one of them just around, like, oh, let me tell you a story about what happened in Derry.
You know what? And that's for, I think they should have. They didn't want to show you the ritual that the kids had to do in the first book, because that was like some disgusting shit.
Yeah.
So, but they could have revamped the ritual and made it into something positive. And it won and showed some of the tribe. It showed Maturin, and then in it too, they could have showed Bill talking to Maturin. I think he talked to him. He didn't talk to him. It too, and it too, they showed Maturin. They showed something like a carcass of Maturin, like it had killed it. Number 2, something like that in the second book. So they could have showed some or alluded to something in it one of Maturin, but they didn't do that. So we didn't get any of that kind of ritual. It's kind of like, just let's whoop his ass. So maybe they'll walk this back, because my theory is, Darren, they're going to walk this back, like the 2 It movies, and they're going to probably redo It 1 and It 2. and maybe put it in a series or put it in a movie. I think they're going to actually do that because the show is going to be too big for them just to let the show go on. They're going to have to do the first 2 movies again maybe in a show form, get more money out of it. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think they could. I don't know. I think it won, and obviously it too did not do as well as it won critically, or I don't know. It probably made money. I don't know what the money side is, but it won. Was an absolute banger when it came out, and I think that movie's held in such a high regard that it's hard for me to see them just remaking it. Now I could see them pulling it at 3 or doing something maybe in the future more if he's back for some odd reason or they weren't able to kill him. I can see them definitely milking the series, but I want to see how these 3 seasons go. But obviously, they've done a fantastic job so far. We're halfway through the season with 4 of 8 episodes. So I mean, I think it's definitely possible, but there's so much to explore. But again, like going back in time, you can go back as far as you really want, and we've been in modern times for almost 200 years at this point. So plenty of timeline for them to play with and add to this lore, and obviously bring some other stuff in from other properties of Stephen King. But yeah, I'm with you. I think they're doing a fantastic job. I want to see where they go. Obviously, they can add some rituals to it. Now I'm really interested to see what happens with the Native Americans going forward. And that's kind of the final part of this episode. But as far as the series going on, I think they're doing a fantastic job. I think this is, again, we've done, and I thought about this when we got on here, and I've heard good things about this series, like for people who've reviewed it all the way and have seen it. But at 4 episodes in, I think they're doing a fantastic job. We were here with Alien Earth as well, so let's say we've been here with other series. We're like, we are hitting a high here in the middle here, but I've heard they really focus in and close out this series well, is what I've heard so far. So looking forward to that. This is the last episode without Pennywise, so we will see him in episode 5. Obviously, I don't know if you've seen the trailer yet, but obviously at the end of this episode, you see the house. They will go into the house, which could serve as a portal, could serve as like something to open up more books. We could see stuff that alludes to other Stephen King franchises when they go in the house. And obviously, I just want to see adults go in there and get absolutely blasted by Pennywise. So he will show up next episode. That is coming, and obviously a banger trailer. But yeah, I'm right now, man. This is a home run series halfway through. I think everything that we asked for series to do, and we've had plenty of arguments with people and conversations of like, you have this franchise, you have so much to it. Explore the lore, open it up, give us more ideas. I love that this show is not just focused on the kid. Like, this was a great episode, and we see what's going on with the kids. We see what's going on with the military. We see what's going on with adults. And we get another couple side stories in there that don't take away attention from the other main 3 things that are going on. So I think, this is probably the best episode of the series so far, and a home run show so far.
Yeah, I so far the whole show as a whole, it's only 4 episodes. I was so excited when I turned it on. I said it's a whole hour. Thank God it's a whole hour, and it's not like 35 minutes like a lot of these other shows that they keep wishy-washing with. Like some episodes are an hour, some are 35 or 45. I was like, yes, a whole hour of content. All the content was worth it. I didn't want it to end. I think it's a home run, 10 on 10. I enjoyed the show overall. There's some moments, even the moments I think are cliche in the show, the cliches work. Like sometimes cliches work perfectly. I think they're knocking the cliches out the park. It's hard to knock a cliche out the park and have people not moan and groan. There's gonna be somebody in the comments moaning and groaning, but I'm not gonna moan and groan because the cliches are leading to shit that I had questions about.
Yeah, I mean, not every part is going to be perfect. I haven't been a fan of all the scares. I know some of them were Disney Channel level, and some of them have been better. So
the CGI is it's spotty sometimes, but
it is a TV.
I'm not. We've been alive for so long there, and then we're old. We're old now. We got good skincare. We're old, but we've seen bad CGI. Okay, we've seen terrible CGI. I can't even comment on bad CGI anymore in 2025 because I've seen it all. So I just like that the story gets pushed forward, and it's getting pushed forward every episode through every character. So I can't complain. Me personally.
Well, there we go. So right now we're sitting at a home run. Make sure you like the video, hit the comments. Questions, do you have them? We'll definitely be putting some polls up and getting some opinions. Want to know how you're feeling on the series, what characters you think are going to make it. What are some of the theories you have? All that stuff, please put it down in the comments. Don't forget, we are chasing 1,000 subs right now, so we will have a gift card giveaway when we get there. So if you have a chance, sub to the video. If you like what you're seeing, share it with somebody else. Let them know we got the good content over here, and there's a lot of it stuff going down as we get to the second half of the series. Scotty, if they don't see us here, or if they see us here and they want to see us other places, where can they find us at?
I can on TikTok at MLF Shorts or Kurono. Might be Kuronocomics. I don't know. I have been on TikTok a lot. I should have been. Or you can find us here on Modern League Films. We'll have another shorts page popping up on YouTube soon.
Yeah, that'll be MLF Shorts here. And then also MLF Shorts is already up and running on Instagram. So you can find us there. Definitely a lot to get into as the series goes on. We probably could do a squeeze another theories video out. So we'll see what temperatures out and what's coming out with the series. But a lot to talk about. Again, hit those comments. Let me know what you're thinking about that. All that good stuff. We will catch you next time.